Welcome back to Mets Daily. Shout out to my father today. It's his 67th birthday. He might not want me shouting out his age, but shout out to Papa Brown turning 67. We have a special guest in the building as we don't really want to dive too deep in the current Mets. We will. This will be like a therapy session for the both of us right now for a guy who is a diehard Mets fan, of course, an Emmy-winning actor, voice legend. You know him from Brockmire, The Simpsons. You know him from the young Patches O'Houlihan, of course. Hank Azaria, welcome to Mets Daily. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. Always says a lot about people what of my credits they pick out to mention. And by the way, I'm happy to do a deep dive. Die Hard, it is accurate. Underline the word die. I guess hard also counts when you're a Met fan.
All the above. It's, the last 2 years, Hank, have taken us on quite the journey. 2024. Now you're a little older than me. I'm 35, but the 2024 team for me is a 35-year, one of the most memorable teams ever. I mean, what that ride that they took us on without even winning a pennant was just remarkable. 2025 was one of the rides that we want to forget about. And unfortunately, the first couple of weeks, they're not making us forget about it too easily because they're off to a 7-10 start. They've lost six in a row. They nearly got no hit last night by a guy that, an average baseball fan had never heard of. What's your evaluations here? And we'll talk about everything else as well. But what's your evaluations here a couple weeks into the 7-10 season?
I doing the show Brockmire that you mentioned, I got to be fairly friendly with Bob Costas, who's amazing to talk baseball with. And one of the really cool things he said to me is a baseball season is not a novel, it's a series of short stories. It's a collection of short stories, which is true. They're literally always every year, right? There's like five different personalities your team shows up with, depending on injuries and what they're doing and slumps and this and that. Um, so it is still too early. But for Met fans, we've got so much PTSD from this team, and rightly so. I mean, that's not our fault. I mean, maybe we get a little overboard with the negativity at times, but I mean, can you blame us? It's just like, and how can we not react negatively to a start like this after what happened last season? They tend to do historic things in a negative way. I mean, '07 and '08 were just like they really scarred me actually as a human being, not just as a Met fan or a sports fan. Like I was, I was really on a personal level bummed by those two seasons. And every time they start to tailspin, I have flashbacks to it.
Yeah, and listen, I get mad at the fans who are calling the season an over in April, but I also understand the element like what you're talking about, the collapses we've been through. I used to do the podcast with Nelson Figueroa, who was on the 2008 Mets, and he would tell me about that team and how they crumbled. And it was also the end of Shea Stadium. So you took our stadium, you took our, playoff hopes, and you took our soul with it. And, you can't really give the franchise the benefit of the doubt. My thought is, hey, if you've seen what happened the last 2 years, the last thing you should do is give up in mid-April because of last year and the team being the best team in baseball for 69 games and then the worst, and then the year before being the worst team in baseball and then being the best. I feel like we've seen examples of them flip the script. I just don't know if fans are buying into. I buy into it because I love what David Stearns did this offseason. I was in the minority of the fan base where I loved the demolition. I thought you had to move on, you had to shake things up. But there are still a majority of fans, Hank, who are like, let's look at Pete Alonso's go-ahead two-run homer last night. Let's look at Jeff McNeil's 6 for 11 weekend against us. Let's look at Brandon Nimmo tearing the cover off the ball. So you have fans now, Hank, bickering at each other who have different beliefs, and we're fighting within ourselves. And it's like gotten a little bit toxic here.
I mean, it's totally understandable. Any fan base would have that reaction to three beloved guys going, homegrown guys going, and then having a good start. But especially our fan base. And I'm with you. I think it did need a change, and we all know, look, partially why those guys are doing well. It could be the change of scenery and wanting to prove something. And of course, I wish our guys were having that reaction who came over here. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But it's understandable. It's way too early to make any judgment on what's going on. It's just that you know this team, and I like what they did too, but they were supposed to be built to be more slump proof. And it's like, so watching this offensive doldrums is like, are you guys kidding? Are you all kidding? I mean, how are these at bats going like this? It's really frustrating, and it's hard not to extrapolate doom and gloom from it.
For sure. And I mean, I think you looked at this line and think it'd be deeper, less strikeouts, less double plays, better situational
Yeah.
hitting. And there's been very little of that. Now they're 7-10. They're not 1-17. So they can, they can end up winning the next five and it wouldn't shock me. But obviously a lot of negativity and doing a show every day, man, it is a roller coaster for me here because I see the comments, I get the tweets, people, you fat lard, you said you were going to be right. You're an idiot. Every single day we hear it, and it's getting insane. We're on Hank with Hank Azaria right now. Make sure you go to Easy Street NYC. Go see him. You're coming to Wildwood in June. I remember that one time at band camp when I was in marching band for 2 years, and we would go perform at Wildwood, and that was the last time I was in Wildwood. But Wildwood's always a good time. Going to
That's
Wisconsin,
pretty nerdy, Jake.
it
That's
listen, 2 years, my parents made me do it because my brothers did it. They said, if your arthritic knees aren't going to be good enough to be on a sports team, you're going to play the clarinet and then the tenor saxophone. That's it.
my listen, my wife went to band camp. She even played the flute there. So, what
We
can
know how
I
that
really say?
we know how that ends. That one time in band camp. Um, but yeah, listen, you could see him in Calgary, Ottawa, Milwaukee. Wow, man, that's cool what you're doing
That's
with
our
Hank Azaria and the
Springsteen
Easy Street
tribute
Band.
band he's talking about.
Yeah, I love that. Tell how did that happen, by the way? How does this come about?
I turned 60 a couple of years ago. I'll be 62 April 25th. I felt a certain way about that, and I got this insane idea to throw a huge party, like a reverse surprise party, I called it. Most of my friends are Springsteen fans, as am I. And I said, I got this amazing Springsteen tribute band coming to play. We had it at City Winery here in New York. And but I didn't tell them that I'm working for months to learn to sing and front it because I've been imitating the way Bruce talks since I'm a teenager. But singing like Bruce, whole different ball game, if you will. And so I found it fun to sort of focus on trying to make this crazy performance than actually turning 60. And then it went really well. And we raised a lot of money for charity that night. And then it was just like, why don't we keep doing this and give all the net proceeds to charity? And that's what we've been doing. And we've gotten a lot of traction. Yeah, we're playing a bunch of really cool festivals this summer, like Wildwood and Calgary and Summerfest and Riverfest, a lot of fests. And then we're announcing a tour next month. We'll be playing a lot, we'll be at Bowery Ballroom in New York, and we'll be in Boston, DC. We'll be all over the place.
Nice. Well, listen, when you come to Bowery Ballroom, I definitely want to try and pop out to that one. That'll be a good one. Wildwood, it's a little tough for me. Although I listen, right now I live about 20 minutes from Philly. I've been living in South Jersey. It's Philly country
Oh,
down here. It's brutal. Trying to get my way back to Queens, but yeah, I'm surrounded by Philly fans. They absolutely hate me. It's F the Mets
I'll
and it's
bet. Yeah,
it, it's a disaster.
my wife is from Philly. She's a Phillies fan. It's a mixed marriage. It's not easy.
They're animals here. Like some people, like women, they won't speak to you if you're a Met fan. They said no, can't do New Yorker, can't do a Met fan.
Philly fans are next level. I mean, Met. I don't know that they're more devoted than Met fans, but they're more aggressive.
Philly, they're more aggressive fan base, and if you're against them, they will come after you. Like New
You
York will
know,
say like get out of here, and that's it.
who's no joke? Dodger fans.
Hmm.
You would think it's all laid back, and it is. And there's a lot of sort of like what you see at Laker games, which is, come late and leave early and celebrity watching. But those hardcore Dodger fans are no joke. They're pretty serious.
And how's that work with you? Because you're obviously a New Yorker, you're in New York, but you've also lived out west. You've been in Hollywood, like you have plenty of Dodger fan
I
friends.
lived there, yeah,
It
for 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, like is it a big rival? Like, do you have group chats with as we're in the Mets playing the Dodgers right now? Do you have group chats with these people with Dodger fans? Was there a point where when you were living out there, you rooted for them, or it was always you were always loyal to the orange and blue,
No,
right?
a lot of close friends were Dodger fans, but it's mostly about teasing each other about screw your team. Um, no, I went to college in Boston. I lived in LA for a long time. That only made my hate grow for Boston and LA teams.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
tried to be like there. I tried to be a Dodger fan one year, I was like, look, I live here. It seems like a lot happier life being a Dodger fan than a Met fan. And I really did. I really earnestly tried. All during spring training, I followed the team and I got aware of all the storylines and the players, and I really educated myself on where they were at, so that I'd be informed for the season. And you can't get better than Vin Scully, right? Giving you all the games, and although Gary, Keith, and Ron to me are right up there, um, and more entertaining. Uh, and opening day, first pitch, Jake, I knew I didn't care. I was like, no, I just don't. I'm not blue. I'm orange and blue, and I can't change.
I'm glad you didn't because some people, I know people have gone out there and they switch. My uncle went to Boston and kind of switched to the Red Sox, but always watched the Mets. Um, my aunt gave me her Game 7 '86 ticket. She's out in LA, but she hasn't made the switch, which I'm glad about. But yeah, it's a tough dynamic, especially now because these teams are arch rivals. Like this series this week, Hank, is supposed to be the NLCS this year. Like it's supposed to be Mets Dodgers rematch. And right now, I would look like an idiot to say that that's what's going to happen, but maybe it
It,
will. You never know.
it's too early. It's too early.
Yeah.
It's not. I think what's just they're not out of it. I mean, if you start off, 2-12, you might have really hurt your chance. But it's not great. And I didn't. I was hoping this team wouldn't swoon like this. I know every team does at some point or another, but they seem sturdier than that. They seem like their floor would be higher if their ceiling wasn't quite as high, and it's just disappointing.
Well, I mean, let's fully judge when Soto's back because they went 4-0 without Soto the first 4 games. And then the offense now shut out 3 times in 4 games, which is it almost takes skill to get shut out 3 times in 4 games. That's almost hard to do. But
So
Soto's return, I think, will help. You got AJ Minter helping the bullpen in a few weeks. He'll be back. Not that AJ Minter's the biggest name, but he's a elite bullpen arm, which will maybe help. But right now they need bats, and they obviously need Soto. It's a big black hole in
I
that
missed
lineup.
it. Did they actually play and lose last night?
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They almost got no hit. It was like a no hitter through 5. Robleski was pitching. He had eight
That was
innings,
the
and
Dodgers, right?
yeah, he
What
was
was the
at like
score of the game? I thought
he
they would
was
have
at
had a
like
Monday off.
no. It's weird. They have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, so they went from New York to LA. It was 4-0, I believe. It was they got shut out once again, third time in 4 games, and Robleski had 8 innings, 80 pitches, and they pulled him. He could have pitched a complete game.
Who pitched for the Mets?
Peterson, shocker. He gave a 3-run homer to Andy Paz. It was 4-0. He settled down after that, but 4 runs
That's a
is too
good
many
outing
for them.
for him lately.
Four
Almost a
innings is
better
like an
effort.
elite outing for him. That's yeah. I mean, he's got to go to the bullpen. What do you think about it comes down to the accountability goes in the manager in the end. My gut, I think you got to fire Carl. Not yet, but I think if you get to 10 games under Hank, you got to fire Carlos Mendoza because he came into this year as a lame duck manager. They fired everyone else around him, kept him, which is a risky move because it puts the manager on the hottest seat possible here in mid-April. That if this team does crumble, if they lose the next 5 and there's an 0-6 road trip, I think you fire him before you come home. And I hate to say it's a short leash, but if you get Hank 10 games under, you got to fire the guy.
I think even just for optics, you do. I mean, I never know whether coaches deserve to be fired or they just had to be, or I never know how much of it's political or practical, but I have no doubt that if that plays out, you're right, he'll be gone.
Do you ever watch Mets games like in one of the Simpsons voices? Like, are you watching the game and like you're reacting to the play like as Apu or something?
I tell you, well, I don't do Apu no more. I can't do Apu no more. But it's easy to react as Mo when you get upset. Mo's from Queens, I'm pretty sure of that. And so it's easy to go, what the swing the bat, you freak. It's hard not to yell as Mo at the Mets.
And do you just grab a beer after that and pretend you're just
I don't drink
drinking?
anymore either, so no. But many fun things I don't do anymore, Jay. And arguably still watching the Mets is only intermittently fun. Let's face it. But yeah, no, I don't. I do. Well, actually, I don't. I have rag dolls. I have a Knicks one and a Jets one over there, not a Mets one. That here. Wait, give me a second. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to see these rag dolls that we have here.
See, there's actually a name. I think they're called
There we
rage
go.
dolls. They're called rage dolls. All right. So when you're watching, it really comes in handy with the Jets. So you're watching the Jets and shit happens. You just slam the doll. So I don't have a Mets one, but I should get one.
Well, I'm hoping in the coming weeks we're not slamming that Knicks doll because they need to save us right now. Like the Knicks playoffs run needs to be magical. Because if the Mets aren't going to give it to us here the next couple weeks, we got the Knicks beginning Saturday against the Hawks. Can't wait for
That's
that. We're
going to
here.
be I'm sorry to say, I think it's going to be a good series.
Oh no, I mean, listen, the last time they played a week or two ago was a classic, and McCollum hits one at the buzzer that didn't count, and it's going to be great. And you Knicks fans are going to be saying F Trey Young. Can we stop? He's not in the team anymore. It's over. They're doing it down the City Field stairwells. I'm like, we're doing it at Met games now. They're at Wimbledon doing it. Like, when I interviewed what's the Islander that they say Potvin. Potvin sucks, Ranger
Yeah,
fans
five
say.
Red Sox.
I spoke to Potvin and he's like, I was at Wimbledon and they were saying Potvin sucks and I was in the crowd. I'm like, Wimbledon? Can Potvin get a break? Like Trey Young, I think should not get the F Trey Young chance. But Knicks fans are going to be storming outside the Garden on Saturday after we win Game 1 saying F Trey Young.
Frankly, I hope they do, Jake. The weirdest one was Trey is balding. That
That
was
hurt me from a personal level. Because listen, he needs to join the dark. Just go bald. He is balding. I am bald. So he just needs to get rid of it. It's like Tiger Woods has needed to join the dark side for a while. Like he's had to get rid of whatever's
yeah.
remaining on his head a while, and he hasn't. Um, I didn't like that one. I was at a lot of those games, and when they were doing it, I was pointing at myself like, why me? Like, why are you doing this to me? Because that is bald shaming
Well, you're not
2026.
balding, Jay, like you just said,
Yeah.
a lot of pride in being bald. Balding, I'm balding too.
Have you thought about joining the dark side or?
Not quite yet. I got the bald patch back here, but I still got a little, I still have the semblance of a head of hair.
Yeah, I did. I looked like you were in the Easy Street band. I was in a boy band. I was spiking it up, whatever I had left. The forehead was getting bigger, and I just gave up the fight when I was 24, 25 years old. Best decision I ever made. I did a lot better in the female department. I did
Well,
better
you
in
have a
life.
nice shaped head. I've shaved my
Yeah.
head for certain roles, and sadly, I look like I look like cauliflower or something. It's not good.
Well, thanks, Mama Brown, for blessing me with a nice shaped bald head. What else you got working on? Remember when I talked to you at the Jeff McNeil Hank Azaria charity event a couple of years ago when I saw you at
It's
City
now the
Field?
Marcus Simeon Hank Azaria charity event. How funny is that? I don't know why it has to be a second baseman that they feel they need to pair me with over there. I'm like, I can play any position.
Is there another player you're going to team up with this year? Or?
Marcus, I'm not kidding. Marcus Simeon, May
Oh, it
28th,
is.
out at City Field. Yeah, we do this charity poker tournament, and we raise a lot of money for the Mets charity of choice and for my foundation. It all goes to local New York causes, really good causes, whether it's from me or from the Mets. And it's a really fun. I think it's like I'm not sure what the buy-in is. Uh, you have to go if you can look it up. I forget what it costs to enter, but it's open. Like like almost all the Mets will be there. I'll be there. A few actors will be there. Noah Emmerich, from the Americans. Is that the great series he was on? He's a great actor. David Costabile from Breaking Bad and Billions, and anyway, and like I say, like most of the Mets, some sportscasters will be there, um, and it's a fun day, May 28th. If you're a poker
Yeah,
player, you want to donate, through the Mets. It's a really fun time.
yeah. It would be at the Metro Grill, 5:30 to 11. Cards fly at 6:30 Thursday, May 28th. Marcus Simeon. I hope he gets to go. I love that trade. To be honest, I like the guy, so that's fun that you get to team up with him.
I
Listen, he's
like
a
the
World
move
Series
too.
champion second baseman. That's a good guy to team up with.
I like the moves too. So far, Devin Williams doing well. I
He's
was
doing
bummed
well.
about Diaz, but I think Diaz wanted to go, right? I mean, he didn't give us the opportunity to keep him.
Yeah, he wanted to go out there, and he said that they said you'll be a Hall of Famer here, and he's like, I'm in because he's going to win at least one World Series with them. We know just how the
He's
Dodgers are
probably
built.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, and then you said a couple years ago you were working on something. I don't know if it ever came to fruition, but are you were any other show? Like you've done everything. You've done Broadway, you've done movies, voiceovers. I feel like you've checked a lot of things off your like career bucket list. Maybe I'm wrong, but is there
No, you're
anything
right.
else? Yeah.
I've written a one-man show that I'm hoping to put up real soon,
Okay.
uh, off Broadway. I did this Pedro Pascal movie. I don't know, it'll be out. It's a really interesting movie. It'll be out next year. Um, and what else do I got going on? I got the band. We've been talking about it.
Mhm.
Simpsons Never Ends, which is very lucky for me. They keep me employed. And that's really, that's basically what I've been up to. Yeah.
I thought you said you were doing something with like Charles Barkley or some kind of show. Maybe I'm wrong. I forget what it was. You said maybe it's something else. I don't know. You're doing different voices. I don't know. This was a couple years ago, so maybe things changed since then.
Charles
Um,
Barkley, no.
I
I would
don't know
remember
where
that.
I don't know where that came from. Um, so all right. So Simpsons. Now you are still filming new episodes of The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
we still make them. Yeah.
That is unbelievable. Did you ever think that when The Simpsons started, the Mets still wouldn't win another World Series since '86? It launched late '80s, early
I
'90s.
didn't, that's the year I moved to LA was 86. And The Simpsons, I got cast in The Simpsons like within a year or two of that. And no, I never didn't, it didn't occur to me that the show would outlast the Mets World Series drought. No.
Well, listen, Howie Rose is sadly leaving at the end of this year.
Yeah.
I think Brockmeyer and Keith Rad in the booth could be a hell of a duo if it
You
ever
know, I've
came to
been in there
fruition.
several times. I've been in there in the ESPN booth with Eduardo Perez and them. And I was with Gary, Keith, and Ron a little bit, and with Howie more than once. I come prepared with, insults for everybody as Jim Brockmeyer. I can say anything as Jim Brockmeyer. If I said it as me, I'd get in a lot of trouble. But if I say it as Brockmeyer, it's absolutely no problem.
Listen, there needs to be a digital broadcast, like a Mets digital like you do a couple games a month. Something, everything's digitalized now. Like you're at the ballpark, you can listen to Howie, Keith, and Pat on the app through the app, no delay. There needs to be, you need some kind of digital, like, I mean, Brockmire's on Netflix. You got Netflix money now that if Netflix is doing it, we got to
I
get
don't
the
see
you.
much of that Netflix money, I'll tell you that right now. Um, but it's funny, when I was doing that, I got offers to like call game, like to like go call minor league games or do this or that. I'm like, I'm not an actual baseball. And like you wouldn't, I played a doctor, I played a surgeon. You don't want me operating on you. Same for calling your base. What I can do is, what I did with some of these broadcasts is prepare a lot of insulting jokes and essentially do ridiculous color commentary on the game. That I can handle. Um,
I
I
would
was,
love to do a live stream Met game. Me and you, we do a comedic version. You're Brockmeyer. I'm just my funny self, but I know the stats and I know I'm an encyclopedia about this team. And we combine and do something. Maybe it goes for charity or something. At some point, maybe this season, I want to make that happen because I think Mets fans need some entertainment right now, and they need a laugh, and they need
we
a
do need a little comic relief from what is going on out there. You know what Brockmeyer likes to say about the Mets, Jake, is that the Mets are the Yankees of not being the Yankees.
listen. They got their own problems over there. We don't we
Yeah,
don't
but
want
you know that the Yankees are going to snap out of it and be in the postseason.
yeah. Well, what
Yeah.
they do in the postseason, we don't know. They've been early
So
exits.
we kind of do know that too. We know they'll fall short,
Yeah,
but at least they always make it and make a run.
that is true. And hopefully the Mets can make a run. Well, Hank will be making a run around the world with the Easy Street
Easy
Band. Easy
Street Band, the
Street.
best Springsteen tribute band you've ever seen.
Can I hear Meet the Mets as the lead voice here? A little sample.
That's why. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring the kiddies, bring the wife.
That's good. Yeah, there you go. Add that to the set list. I want that set list. I want that
We'll
favorite.
work out an arrangement and meet the Mets, kind of bluesy version. I think it'll have to be a little, you know, slow tempo. It's going to be a little funereal.
Listen, as a Queens guy, I thought, I'm a Queens. I thought you might be more a Billy Joel than Bruce, but you're a more Bruce than Billy kind of guy.
Love them both. But yeah, I think, you have to get a little farther east on Long Island to be a pure Bill. Although a lot of my neighborhood was split in Forest Hills, Billy Joel and Bruce. I never saw it as a choice, like you can have them both.
True.
Just to me, Bruce was always the top of the list.
I think the internet has now made everything a choice. Everything's this or that, that or this. Hank Azaria, Mets Daily, hit that thumbs up, subscribe below. Go check Hank out at the Easy Street Band. And yeah, we'll see you City Field May 28th for the poker event with
Yeah,
Marcus
come
Simeon.
come check us out at City
Yeah,
Field. Yeah.
that'll be a good time and always good food there. I will say when I went a few years ago, obviously all the top shelf
Even
stuff.
better this year. Like they're really, you got to say that. I mean, the food at the stadium's awesome and the food is awesome and Gary, Keith, and Ron are awesome and a lot of good things about being a Met fan.
Voted number one food in baseball by USA Today 4 years in a row. City Field 4 years in a row. They're like the Kobayashi of food or hot dog eating contest is the Mets, and they will continue to win that because the lobster roll, the caprese burger I had the other day, Adam Richman's Burger Hall of Fame, a lot of unique
Their
items at the
pizza's
ballpark.
really good. You got the Shake
Yeah.
Shack out there.
They got Oreo churros this year. Very good Oreo churros.
Ooh, I haven't tried those yet.
Yeah, a lot of things you got to try.
That fried chicken sandwich, that
Yep.
Japanese fried, that's also amazing.
They have a kimchi Reuben they added this year as well. That is really
Really?
good. I had that the other day. I, to be honest, I vomited yesterday morning, and I think it's because I just ate so much City Field food it was very good, but I think I just ate so poorly that my body was telling me you need to like wake up and have something green in your body.
Did you combine the grease with a milkshake? Because that'll do it.
Well, yeah, I had the cream of the Oreo churro because it's cream filled, and then you dip it in more cream. And I had like chicken parm and stuff. And I don't do well with
Yeah,
cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, and I didn't pop a lactate.
you were
So
asking for it, kid.
yeah, I'm asking for diabetes and being in a Price is Right commercial any day now. Hank Azaria, thank you so much for coming on Mets Daily. Let's go Mets, man. Let's turn this thing around.
Let's
Always
go,
great to
Mets. You
talk
can
to
do
you.
it. Don't lose
Good.
heart, Met fans. It's all we have is our hearts, our battered and bruised hearts. That's all we have. They're bruised orange and blue. It's a medical miracle.
Yeah, our heart that is filled with clogged arteries from what we eat at City Field. It's gonna go on, and we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, let's go, Mets.
Let's go Mets.